Hi everybody, quick update. Well, it won't be quick knowing me because I usually seem to ramble on, but hopefully you can stick with me. Yes, this is the New Line Designs Roman Ballista and Crew, which I was working on. Finished them. Quite happy with how it came out. Nice little set actually, nice figures. I put them on a 60mm base. Perhaps overdone it with a basin, I don't know. Like I'm quite into colourful sort of lush bases at the moment, and well, these, if I get use them in if I get to use them in a war game, they're going to be in Britain, so I thought go for the pastures green type of look. Bit different to the neutral deserty type bases I normally do on World War II. Yeah, nice, nice set. Impressed with that. Yeah, say 60mm base. It's all metal. The figures and the ballista, it's all metal. Well impressed with it. The paints I used for the actual ballista are scale 75, which I would recommend. I got a box set of wood and leather. The set was. Yeah, so I used paints from that to do the ballista. Quite happy with how it turned out, but I'd recommend those. Nice opaque paints. They mix easy, when you shake they're in this kind of format, but they mix well. Even though they're really thick, they seem to mix well when you shake them, which is an issue I've been having with Army Painter. No matter how much I shake those, just can't get them to mix, so I'm going to have to get some ball bearings for those. But yeah, scale 75, highly recommend them. I don't know if you can buy individuals. You probably can somewhere, I suppose, but so far I've just seen sort of sets of paints. But they're good, very good paints, and they have a nice little handy sort of instruction, tutorial leaflet in them on how to paint whatever the set is based on. So obviously leather and wood. There's a couple of guides for painting leather and wood, really good. Yep, so that's that New Line Design Roman Ballista. Back to French-Indian War. These are Galloping Major, and these are 60th foot, I believe 60th foot Royal American they were called. They just done a set of 6 to begin with. Jesus, knocking them down. Yeah, just done a set of 6 to begin with. There's going to be a unit of 12 in the Musket and Tomahawks game I'm doing these for. I'm going to have 2 units of 12 line troops, but I think the other unit of 12 I'm going to do as sort of normal line. I mean, these are normal line troops, they're just a different uniform and name, but yeah, I'm going to do like your standard line infantry, so there'll be more sort of a bit redder looking, I suppose, because he's got like blue waistcoats and only got red waistcoats actually. I thought they were blue. Yeah, got red waistcoats, but they've got blue breeches, which sort of makes them look a bit more blue, I think. Gone for green and brown leggings with these. Oops. Actually, thought I'd do the eyes, but then I got fed up with it. I mean, I can do them, but it's just another thing I just want to get them done. And I find that you never get them right first time, so you end up having to tidy up around the face again, and I just can't be bothered. I mean, they look good, I suppose, when you do them, if you do them well, because they can look a bit goggle-eyed if you're not careful. I mean, that don't look too bad. But I think I'll just, I don't know, maybe I'll go back to them later, because these Galloping Major ones have got like nice, bold, sort of defined faces, so probably benefit from the eyes being done, but currently can't be bothered. But saying that, I might well end up going back and doing them all. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so that's them 60th foot. Lovely figures, Galloper Major again. Yeah, so that's pretty much those 6. Got another 6 to do. I'm going to sort of do, well, I'm showing you what I'm doing next actually. I'm sort of flitting about. I'm trying to concentrate on doing a force for musket and tomahawks, but I'm sort of doing bits and bobs of each different force. So that's half of one unit. Previous video, so I've done 6 militia. I've got 3 groups of 6 militia to do. Well, 2 more to do. So currently though, I'm doing these Rangers. Again, Galloping Major. I haven't got particularly far with these. The green is just about finished, I think. But it's not going to look much until all the other details are done. So, as always, I mean, yeah, what it's like miniature painting, it never looks done until it's done, as it were. You just, I find you get like large areas like this done and they don't look much. Because when everything else is finished, it all sort of comes together. So, yeah, the reason they come in packs of 6, the Galloper Major stuff. But the unit I'm doing for Rangers in Musket and Tomahawks is a group of 8. These ones are painted, or partly painted, but already based on square bases and been undercoated. But I changed my mind and gone to circular bases, so I took these ones off the squares, and just put them on circular bases, put some milliput on, which you can just paint straight onto. So they were already undercoated and ready to paint. It's just these 2 that I've put on stands that need undercoating. And they've got different hats as well. Got the little Scotch bonnets. But yeah, nice, lovely figures again. And I'm finding enthusiasm kept up because there's such variety in different troops in this French Indian War. It's great, loving it. So that's those British Rangers. I've got a couple of days off, and then obviously got the weekend. So I'm hoping by the weekend I'll have those Rangers done with any luck. But I'm not the fastest painters. Finally, got these, which are AW miniatures, who I'd never had anything from before, but they had a sale. I've been looking at them for ages because I knew that I think I'd read somewhere that they were similar size to Galloping Major. So I've been looking at their site for a year or 2, well, a year and a half probably, but never actually, what it's like if you're not sure about a range, you sort of don't know. But then they had a 30% sale, which they've still got going. So I thought, oh well, and I ended up going overboard, as you do, bought loads. But glad I did. Really good figures, really like them. Size-wise, you can see, great match for Galloping Major, which is what I wanted, because Galloping Major haven't got complete French Indian War coverage. I mean, for instance, they haven't got French line yet, so or French Grenadiers, or British Grenadiers for that matter. So AW are a good source for those. I mean, as I mentioned before, Redoubt too, they're pretty good match for size. These probably, AW probably more so a good match with Galloping Major. Got the same chunkiness. But yeah, really like these. So much so that unfortunately, as their sale is still going, I'm probably going to go and buy some more. So that's a French regular. I've read that they're supposed to be like white, well, they're often depicted in white coats. But from what I've read, they're actually more pale grey, which is sort of what I've gone for. I was actually going to go for something that was even more sort of bluey grey than this. It was I've got Vallejo colour called French Mirage Blue. I was going to use that, but I decided just go for. I used Vallejo light grey and then just added some off-white to it for the sort of highlights. So I'm going to do them all like that. The line, French line. The officers though, I'm going to do in sort of proper white coats, so they stand out a little bit. This is a French Grenadier. Not sure what I'm doing yet, because they too would have been in this sort of pale grey coats, but I've also seen them in blue, so I'm debating what to do, whether I'm going to do them, stick with the line colours, or do them in blues. But yeah, great figures, love them. And this chap, British Grenadier, I'm doing him in sort of buff facings, and this mitre cap, I've been looking at them, and the front and the sort of band at the bottom matches whatever the facing colours are. So you know, if they're green facings, then that band and the front are in green. But yeah, nice chunky figure. Really like the look of it. So I'm going to press on and finish them as well. And then this is one of their Indians. Nice pose. I mean, on this one the arms are separate, so you can have them positioned slightly. I mean, there's, from the way they cast, I mean, I suppose you could just file bits to make them fit in a different way, but from the way they cast, they're sort of going to fit pretty much like that. But I'm going to see if I can adjust them a bit, so that, because I've got, I think, 5 in that pose, I think it is. So I'm going to try and have them in, you know, slightly different, but when they're all mixed up with Galloping Majors and other poses, it'll be alright anyway. But yeah, so that's AW Miniatures. Highly impressed. Like I say, they've got a sale going. They don't do just French anymore, they do Samurai, 7 Years War, bit Napoleonics, do Anglo-Zulu War. So if you're looking for some nice figures, a good price, worth looking at, just bear in mind they are on the larger side. So, you know, they dwarf things like Perry miniatures, or, for instance, look at the size difference there for the new line designs. So they would dwarf Warlord stuff as well, because new line pretty much match Warlord. But if you were just starting out on a particular period that AW do, I recommend them, highly well worth getting. So that's where I am at the moment. I'll just leave them there for now. Yeah, I was going to do some shout outs. I'll try and get that done quickly. Mary Hinge just did some on his video, latest video, and he's one actually who I'll give a mention to, because he's a nice bloke and does some great stuff. And he's currently doing American War of Independence, so check him out anyway. But his current video, worth looking at, because there's some stuff on there he mentioned that I'd not heard of, so it's nice to find different channels. And my mentions are the same criteria as his. It's the ones with sort of lower subscriber numbers. So yeah, Mary Hinge to begin with. Definitely check his stuff out. So onward. First of all, Brett Simpson. He's an Aussie, I believe. Now, yeah, he's Australian. I was going to say he might be New Zealander, but no, he's Australian. And they both hate you getting them confused. He does mostly World War II 20mm, and he's into a game called Crossfire. Does some really good stuff. He's been doing sort of the kind of Australians and that kind of thing, you know, the Far East setting. He's been doing stuff for Japanese, Australians, really good, well worth checking out. Busy Bristles, a Welsh lad called Reese, who I've been sort of communicating with email wise. Very nice bloke. He's into, well, he does quite a lot of different stuff. I mean, he bought a load of Vietnam stuff, which I don't see much of. He hasn't done much with them because he's obviously got distracted by something else, as we all do. But he does things like World War II, so Vietnam I've mentioned, and his big thing at the moment, which I know he's well into, is Anglo-Zulu War. So I know he's planning to get really stuck into that for the next couple of months. So we'll go and check him out. Reese, Busy Bristles. Chris Waring, mentioned him before. He had a bit of a mare recently. He sounded like he was going to jack it all in, like get rid of all his figures and, either not bother, maybe start again, or just not bother. But saw sense, don't know what brought that on. And he's kept all his stuff and bought more. So, yes, a sensible turnaround there. He does mostly Napoleonics, does a lot of French. Very well worth looking at. Got massive collection of Napoleonic armies, actually. Say French and British mostly. So yeah, Chris Waring. Next one, Grana Priego. I saw his stuff about a good year and a half ago first, and he was doing Dark Ages at the time. Then he disappeared for months. Must have been good 6 to 8, 10 months. Never saw anything of him. And then he came back recently, which I'm glad to see. Yeah, like when I first watched him, it was Dark Ages, like Vikings and all that kind of thing. And I was taken with the way he did his basing, which I was struggling with at the time. So I picked up a lot from watching his videos on basing, and he's a good painter as well. He's currently doing, I think he's just finished a Napoleonic starter set. So go and check that out. Don't know what he's going to do next, but say he did some, if you look on his sort of back catalogue, as it were, done some really good Dark Age stuff. Yeah, Grana Priego. Next one, JVC Paints. He was called Jamu Von Chipangu, but he changed his name to JVC Paints. From what I can tell, he's Canadian, I believe, and lives in Japan. Does good variety stuff. Does a lot of World War II. Very good. Really worth checking out. Does view battle reports, things like that. Very good though. So that's JVC Paints. Next one, Lucio Quinzio Cincinnato. Real name is Francesco. I would say he's the best painter I've seen. Absolutely fantastic. Doesn't do chatty videos. Just basically does a showcase of what he's painted. But fantastic, I think. Got to be the best painter I've seen. Really, really good. Napoleonics mostly, and he's been doing some that I'm very keen on at the moment, like the Spanish, because that's what I've started Napoleonic wise. He's been doing a lot of Spanish guerrillas and Spanish line. Look brilliant. So check him out. Lucio Quinzio Cincinnato. Then there's Phil R, French chap. Really good. He does mostly, seems to be mostly sort of 15, 18, 20 mil type stuff. Does quite a few different things, like, Napoleonic, 7 Years' War, that kind of, the sort of musket era mostly. I think he's done some American Civil War as well. Very good. Yeah, really well worth watching Phil. Then there's Shawno's World of Figures. He's very new. Well, very new to doing videos. Really good as well. He's done a bit of ACW, American Civil War, Medievals. Really good as well. He's just done a nice little casualty marker of 100 Years' War casualty with a mastiff dog, sort of guarding the wounded knight. But yeah, he does American Civil War, medieval, really good. Definitely have a check him out because he's sort of new to doing videos. Could do with a few more subscribers. I mean, I know he don't do it basically just to be Mr. Popular here, but it's nice to know people are actually watching what you're doing. So I think any of these new chaps that come along, you know, give them a bit of support and watch what they're doing, because otherwise I just give up. I mean, I know I did my first video, no one looked at it, and I took it off straight away and thought, right, sod this, not doing it. And then I think it was VK on Ketteringham. He then sort of mentioned this to a few people, and then people started watching. But yeah, it can put you off if people don't watch. So yeah, and there's some really good painters out there who are sort of new to doing the YouTube stuff, so should really give them a look, I think. I know we're all like pressed for time and that, but you can put them on when you're painting, can't you? But anyway, Sean knows well the figures, really good. Last one, the Michigander, young chap in America. He's at college actually, so he just sort of paints when he can. I mean, he probably does videos as almost as regular as me, which isn't that regular. I mean, I've every 2 or 3 weeks, and he seems to be about the same. Obviously he's got college and course commitments and all that sort of stuff, but he's really good. Does Napoleonics. I don't know what it is, but I always like it when you get like Americans who are really keen on sort of British Napoleonics. Don't know, just seems sort of just something nice about it. Yeah, he likes Napoleonic stuff. Generally tends to do bricks as well. Really good painter. So yeah, definitely check him out. Hopefully I'll have a look at most, if not all, the ones I've just mentioned. That's about it. And personally, actually, I don't know what's going on, but haven't been getting notifications when I've got new subscribers. Just got one pop up the other day, and I thought, so I looked at my subscriber list, and it's like I'm on 220 something now. And I thought the last time I looked it was about 208, and I just don't seem to be getting notifications of new subscribers. So anyone who has subscribed recently, thanks very much. Well, I'm just not aware of it because nothing seems to be coming up to tell me that I've had them. So yeah, thanks to everybody who has subscribed recently and who has always subscribed and who's been watching and commenting. Much appreciated. And you get some nice comments from people, and you get to sort of not meet, but you get to sort of chat with people outside of YouTube as well, which is quite a nice thing. I mean, I've sort of been in touch with Reese from Busy Bristles, been Jim, Mary Hinge, Eric, Games of Sarge, Cal from Brush and Quill. It's nice to sort of get to know people a bit more outside of YouTube. But yeah, thanks to everybody who does subscribe and watch, and to those of you who just recently subscribed, thanks very much. I just wasn't aware of it because I had no notification, but yeah, thanks. So anyway, I'll get off and try and enjoy the rest of my days off and press on with these Rangers. Take care, everybody. See ya.